Okay, so I wanted to do a video basically on this. He seems so angry basically at Jeffree Star, but it shows very double standards here. So let's continue.
Conservatives are celebrating as a transvestite YouTube star says that the leftist gender ideologues have gone too far. I'm not into all the other bullshit. I think. What other bullshit? The they and them. Yeah. And all that extra shit that we added during the pandemic because everyone was so bored in their houses. They just started to make up more more stuff? Yeah. That's where the conservatives like me because I'm just real. Yeah, you do have a conservative vibe to you. You're not they and them. You're trans, you're male or you're female. And you're standing on that. So mad when I say that. How are you a they? What the does that mean? It's stupid is what it is. Yeah. But you need someone like me that looks like me to say it. Because if you say it, it turns into you're homophobic, you hate trans people, you hate gays. And it's just how you feel. You don't hate anyone. You just think it's stupid. That guy is Jeffree Steininger, goes by the stage name Jeffree Star. And a number of conservatives, fairly prominent conservatives, are lauding him for saying enough is enough with the non-binary they-them gender pronouns. And all I can think is, this is how conservatives always...
First off, I don't understand why he's calling this person Jeffree Star transvestite. Jeffree Star just wears makeup and long wigs. Okay. That's basically it. Many men wear makeup and long hair or wigs. That's not really cross-dressing. So, that's one part of it. Now, the other part of it is I don't understand when you're saying the they-them thing. I do think that is problematic because it's problematic to our grammar. Now, the reason why they do that is because they specifically don't want to be called it. That's a proper neutral term, neutral pronoun for, people who believe they are non-binary. Is it. That's what they should be called, basically, based on that. Now, I've been around a lot of transgender people. Everyone knows this in my early 20s and so forth. And with these people, many of the transgender people were more likely, to say that they were a they. But some people were smart enough to understand that what they really meant to say is that their pronouns were it and its, right? And I always thought it was interesting because, real hardcore homophobes and transphobes often are the ones who specifically are likely to call them it. But these are the types of people who actually literally will be using the right pronoun. So it's just interesting in that regard. But yeah, I do agree that the they, them is troublesome because it's hard to know what anyone's talking about when you say they. Now continue.
This is the new line. This is the new Overton window of acceptable political discourse in 2023. The line is, transgenderism is fine, but non-binary is crazy. Yeah, you tell them, Jeffrey. Democrats, they're the real transphobes. Good grief. This is what always happens. 50 years ago, conservatives said, okay, feminism is fine, but homosexuality is crazy. Then 30 years ago, conservatives said...
Now, why did you make the assumption that conservatives have all these crazy beliefs, sweetie? I don't know why you guys depict conservatives in such an insane way. Like, really, seriously, somebody is harping over what someone sleeps with, or people are so conservative they think that men are better than women. This is how you box yourself in and lose, because you're literally thinking that men are better than women, and you think that feminism is a bad thing because it's bad to think that women are equal to men. And honestly, it's really dumb. honestly, to have this view and expect women to vote in your favor. You do understand you're a minority, sir. You're not a majority. You're a man. A man is a minority in the population. For some reason, you guys won't get it through your thick skulls that women can actually vote at this point. Okay? So, because we can vote in our interest. And obviously, we're not going to vote to say that men are better than women. So that's what I mean. It's just weird that you would have that mentality. And then on homosexuality, it's kind of odd. Like, I don't think anyone, conservative or liberal, is really concerned with what a man is sleeping with in his own home, what he chooses to get off to, what is his interest. Unless we are dating him, nobody gives a fuck, okay? And this goes for women, of course, too. We don't care who's gay, who's lesbian, who's whatever. Like, that's not the point. You know, I think you are thinking that conservatives are all crazy. We're not all crazy and maniacal control freaks, basically, okay? Yes, there are some people like you who are control freaks, and there are liberals who are control freaks, okay? But that's not what conservatism is about. I mean, we do believe in freedom of speech, you know, and we believe in freedom in this country, equal rights for everyone. You know, we believe in equality, and we're still conservative. You know, neither side, your side, whatever side that is, and liberals do not believe in equality or freedom of speech, quite clearly. Continue.
Oh, okay, homosexuality is fine, but gay marriage is crazy. Then 10 years ago, conservatives said, okay.
No, I never changed on gay marriage. What are you talking about? Like, this is weird to me. The reasons I'm conservative, sweetie, is because, one, on LGBT issues, I am not liberal. Because you look at what the liberals have to say on LGBT issues, and I do not align with liberals, generally. Some of the things they try to dictate how you feel about gay and transgender people. I have every right to hate whoever I freaking want to hate. That's my choice. You know, homophobes have every right to hate homosexuals if they want to, and transphobes have every right to hate transsexuals. You know, you have every right to express your opinion. It's freedom of speech and freedom of expression. So, I mean, to me, it's like obvious that transphobes are allowed to live their lives the way transphobes want to live their lives. Homophobes have the right to live their life the way they want to live their life. And homosexuals have the right to be as gay as they want to be. And transphobes have the right to be as trans as they want to be. They can do whatever the fuck they want with their bodies. It's their body, it's their choice. You know? And honestly, you know, if you wanted to really actually apply this to the pro-life agenda, we could actually apply that. That is in itself pro-life people. We do believe, and it's the baby's life, the baby's choice, and the baby's future. So that does not go against any conservative views. This is actually in line with conservative views. You see, you are just a control freak, basically. You want everybody to live the life you want to live. You live it on your own, but it seems like you don't even live by the standards that you're saying, and we'll get into that soon.
Gay marriage is fine, but transgenderism is crazy. And now, in the year of our Lord, 2023, conservatives are saying,
there is no year of our Lord. Every year is, dumb fuck. Anyway, continue.
You know it. Okay, transgenderism's fine, but this non-binary stuff is crazy. They're saying transgenderism is fine, but wait until they turn 18 to chop.
As far as transgender being crazy, okay, if transgender is crazy, well, I want to get to actually the last part of what you're saying.
Transgenderism's fine, but wait until they turn 9 to teach them about it in school. That's in one of the most...
So, I wanted to get to all those points first. For one, transgenderism, like I said, I can be as transphobic as I freaking want to be. And that should be my right, my prerogative. I have every right to tell another transgender person that everything is wrong with them, okay? I can tell them that they're crazy, everything's messed up with them. That should be my choice, you know? Personally, to me, I don't feel the need or the reason why I am telling a transgender person that they're crazy. I figure that they already know that's how I feel anyway, you know? And if they don't, I don't mind telling them. I've specifically said this before, but really with me, the way I am is like, if you are so sensitive that you will hurt yourself because someone thinks negatively, don't listen to me, okay? But my opinion on transgender people, of course, I think that that's mental. Of course, I think it's crazy. That doesn't really matter, does it? Okay, we could think schizophrenic people are crazy, right? But is it going to stop them from being crazy? No, they're still going to be fucking crazy. If they choose not to take their meds, we can't force them to take their meds. It's their life, it's their choice. You see my point here. That's why I'm like, with transgender people, sure, you can think whatever the fuck you want. But that doesn't change that transgender people have a right to their bodies, just as is. You know, that's what I get annoyed with you two about, is that you don't understand that people have a right to do whatever the fuck they want with their bodies. Because it's their body. You can't tell other people not to invert their penises. If they want to invert their penises and turn it into a hole they call a vagina, that's their choice. You know, you can call them crazy for it. You can call them all sorts of names for it. That's your choice too. You know what I mean? I just, to me, it's a free country. We should be saying this. Let the transphobe be the transphobe. Let the homophobe be the homophobe. And let the homosexual be the homosexual. And let the transsexual be the transsexual. It is a free country. Everyone is free to be who they are. That is the truth, you know? But the problem is with the left agenda on transgender people, and specifically this, is that they want you to feel a certain way towards transgender people. They want you to say a certain thing. I feel like it's my right whether I call you a he or a she. That's my right. I choose if I call you a he or she. No one else dictates if I call you a he or she. I can call any fucking body I want to call a she or a he. I could call Michael Knowles a she if I want to, because it's my fucking prerogative. It doesn't have anything to do with his identity, who he is biologically. If I'm wrong, if I'm right, I have every right by the matter of freedom of speech to call him a she, a he, and it a cow, okay? It doesn't matter. I have every right to say whatever I want to refer to him as, okay? That's just the truth. You know, that's a matter of freedom of speech. That's why, to me, it's really upsetting with the liberal side where they're saying, you must call this person a he, you must call this person a she. And you know what, honestly, before all this, to be completely honest with you, I literally obeyed or listened to people's pronouns. I didn't mind. I didn't care. I was like, okay, you want to be called a he or a she? That's fine. The problem that I would always find with these situations is it's not enough. Okay? So if they understand your sexuality and they know you're straight or they know you're homosexual, then they're going to have an issue with that. They're going to have an issue because they're going to be like, oh, you're not attracted to me as the opposite sex. You would never choose anyone like me that's the opposite, let's identifying with the opposite sex. Things like that. That's a problem to me. Now you're getting into my fucking business. Now you're getting into my fucking sexuality. I let you be. Now let me fucking be. That's how I feel about that situation. Is you need to let other people be. You know, you're not letting other people be, and then you, for some reason, think that somehow that this is somehow a situation where these people are, you know, somehow supposed to be adhered to. We're supposed to let them make the fucking rules. Nobody makes the fucking rules. That's how I see it. Like nobody, in my opinion. People like these people on this side liked it when transphobes and homophobes made the fucking rules. They don't make the rules either, in my opinion. They are just fucking people who make choices in their lives, come up with their own idea of morality on their end and live by those fucking rules. Okay? Just like transgender people come up with their moral code. Gay people come up with their moral code. You all come up with your own moral code and live by your fucking standards. But don't implement your own standards on other fucking people. Okay? That's how I see it. That's my problem with both sides. This is why, for me, I had never really aligned with either the extreme crazy side like this and not the extreme side of, liberals. Liberals to me are just too extreme. Like, it's really literally telling people who and how to feel about someone, how to be sexually attracted to someone you're not sexually attracted to because their sexuality does not include them. How you're supposed to. You have to use a certain pronoun because somebody said to use it. That's my right to determine what pronoun I'm going to use because it's my freedom of speech. I'm speaking. I'm saying this. This is my right to freedom of speech. So I have every right to call anybody any name that I so choose to call them as far as their pronoun. They can choose to walk away. They can choose to remove themselves from me. They can choose to remove me from their establishment. But they cannot try to say that I cannot express myself and express my freedom of speech the way I so choose to. That's what the problem is to me. Is it's a free country, okay? So freedom of speech is a major part of it, okay? And the freedom to choose what you want to do with your life, who you want to love, how you want to present yourself, how you want to dress, what kind of things you want to do to your body is your right, your choice. That's how I see it. So that's why, to me, it's like, you guys got to understand, both sides are wrong in this, okay? The people who want to dictate how other people live their lives are wrong.
Conservative states on this issue. They say wait till 8. Once they turn 9, then you can talk about it. This is how we lose. Because we fail to understand what the left understands, which is that if you accept the left's basic premises, those premises are eventually going to be taken to their logical conclusions. If you accept the premise, in this case, that men and women are basically the same, you can start that out in the 70s, you can start that out with feminism, you are going to end up here. You can try to slow it down a little bit. You can try in vain.
Yeah, so because someone thinks that women are equal to men, that means that they're going to think that you don't have the right to express yourself, or you don't have the right to freedom? I don't get what you're saying here. Really, I don't. To me, it's just like, the issue to me is the fact that to me, it almost seems like you're a bit bisexual, honestly, because you really think that this is a side issue, but it is an issue to me. You're saying that if you think women and men are equal to each other, that means that you think that homosexuality is okay. Meaning that, I guess, you view it as if you view men and women as equal, then they're equal partner for you. That is exposing yourself. And I mean, like, honestly, let's be honest. I mean, like, the next video I'm going to show of you with Blair White, I would say, you do seem a little bit like you might be bi. But that's another story. To me, it's just like, I personally think, like, the fact of thinking that women are less than has nothing to do with homosexuality, one. Definitely has nothing to do with transgender issues. If in fact, it's you guys who are actually causing more problems for women. in the ideology of basically, pigeonholing women in one category. Transgenderism, the gender construct in itself, is against the idea of feminism, which is the idea that women are equal to men. So it's kind of like, it's very weird. What do you mean by that? Transgenderism is exactly what you implemented, and your kind implemented, okay? Like, being completely honest, men implemented the gender construct. You did, and then transgenders want to play by the gender construct. And you know what that causes? It makes them say, I feel like a woman. And you made there such a thing as acting like a woman. There is no such thing as acting like a woman, but you made it up, even though you've never been a woman in your life. Isn't that so weird? But the reason you made a gender construct for men is because men made that construct because it benefits them. It benefits them to have a gender construct that oppresses women. Women's oppression benefits men, and oppression of everyone who isn't born male, for that matter. It is a benefit for men. It's always been a benefit for men. So it's kind of like, you saying that transgenderism is in favor of feminism. It is not. This is why a lot of feminists go against transgender ideology. Now, the liberal wing does, but that's because they don't really care about women anymore. They've abandoned that whole issue, So that's what I mean when you're saying that women are equal to men and thinking that women are equal to men, that means that we're encouraging the transgender ideology. That's weird, because it's like you're not paying attention to the fact that the whole gender construct has created transgender people, and actually understanding that the gender construct has literally oppressed women. This is a major reason why a lot of women are against, and a lot of people in favor of women are against the gender construct. Because if we were really to adhere to that, it will box us right back into the kitchen. So anyway, continue.
To push pause on the unfolding of history based on certain premises, but you're never going to stop it. You're certainly never going to stop it at transgenderism is fine, but non-binary is crazy. In fact, the guy who articulated that view, to much conservative fanfare, is already walking it back.
Anyone that is trying to make it seem like I said that non-binary people don't exist, I never said that. Record this right now. Never said it. You're putting words in my mouth. I said I don't like the pronouns and I don't agree with them. I never said that they don't exist. I'm a freak. I'm a part of the LGBT community. I'm pansexual. I'm bisexual. Whatever the you want to call me. I don't like labels. I like guys. I like girls. I like sleeping with both. But I love men. Whatever you think that means to you, I don't care. Label however you want. But don't put words in my mouth. I do not agree with a few things. I'm old school. All these 30 terms, girl, stop complicating everything. Just chill, take a hit, relax, and don't put words in my mouth.
There he is, Jeffree Star.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like he said in the beginning. He specifically said that it was pronouns that he was concerned about, was that calling people they and them was problematic, which it is problematic. I agree with that. But I honestly, like I said, of course, non-binary, I don't even believe in the gender construct. So, I mean, that's that. But I just find it really weird and interesting that this guy has so much issue with Jeffree Star, which is another part of what I want to talk about. He has so much of an issue with Jeffree Star, but you don't have an issue with transgenders. I wonder why that is.
Mr. Conservative. That's the most conservative guy in America 30 years from now. I'm only half joking. 30 years from now, it's going to be 2053. We're going to say, man, you remember that far right-winger Jeffree Star? That's what's going to happen if the American right doesn't wake up and start offering people something other than just the leftism of 10 years ago. The rest of the show continues now. You do not want to miss it. You can go to Daily.
Okay, so it's interesting to me. I don't get it. Why such anger and issue with Jeffree Star saying that? Which is just a simple thing of saying that he, doesn't really like the pronouns of they, them. That's not his interest. He doesn't like using them. You have so much issue and so much fire and so much anger towards someone like that, who's specifically not transgender. He's not a transvestite. I know he wanted to make up that he was because he, I think, is more threatened by feminine men than transgenders. Why I say this is because why is it he's literally talking to Blair White and friends with Blair White, got no issues with Blair White, and what does Blair White do? Blair White literally is the one who is always talking about non-binary. So it seems like are you a hypocrite? Well, let's watch this other video.
Take the Venmo debit card out.
Oh, sorry, commercial.
For coffee. This brings up the right-wing resistance to transgenderism, to the movement of transgenderism, to a lot of the activism that comes out of it. I think a lot of it is about the pronouns. And I struggle with this myself. I don't know which to use because my reason tells me, just as you said, you're born a man, you'll die a man, but you now certainly resemble a woman, you don't look like a man. So my reason tells me it would be objecting to reality to say she. And yet, you're my guest, you're my friend, you're my politeness would object to calling you he. And obviously, in terms of secondary sex traits, you certainly look much more like a woman.
So clearly affirming this person. Like, come on now. Try again.
How do we resolve this issue between manners and politeness and civil society and the biological facts of sex?
Well, you certainly don't legislate it. I think that's a huge problem. I was just reading the other day, in 2018, there's about to be harsher penalties for misgendering someone in the health field than for spreading HIV, which is insane.
That's right. I saw that.
Yeah.
They're making it will no longer be a felony to intentionally spread HIV.
California's a mess. California's a mess.
Just a generally true.
Yeah, just a mess. But again, you don't legislate it because that turns people off, and it also makes trans people a liability when they become employees. No company wants to hire someone who is potentially a lawsuit. You know what I mean? So that's a problem, and that's another thing. It's like a double-sided sword because the trans activists claim to fight for trans unemployment, and then they do things like that.
Right.
But again, with pronouns, it's you just do what makes sense. You know what I mean? For instance, if you and I were to go to dinner or something, and I got there before you, so I was at the table, and you told people at the front, I'm meeting my friend, you wouldn't say, he's in the black top, or she's
that's right.
You know what I mean? It just makes, because they wouldn't know who you're talking about.
He's in the silky dress over there.
Yeah, they would lead you to someone else.
Right.
So it's just about what makes sense. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people who seem hell-bent on having things not make sense. You know what I mean? People who want to be referred to with, third pronouns, fourth pronouns, Z's,
the Z, the they.
Yeah,
the singular they is the worst one. That is unforgivable. It is such an offense to grammar. I can't imagine.
It is.
Exactly. Literally agreeing with a transgender who's basically saying it's okay to call me a she, but it's not okay to call them they. Oh, you're all right with that. You're all right with the transgender saying it, but a guy who has some pink hair and some makeup on bothers you. Oh, I wonder why.
And it's frustrating. For me, when I'm in those situations, I just don't hang out with people like that. If I'm around them, I'm not going to be intentionally rude or anything, but I would prefer not to hang out with someone who has that high of expectations for a normal conversation with them. Right. It's kind of annoying. But other than that, just do what makes sense.
Is there a worry that the pronouns kind of give up the the premises. So in the pronouns, in any polite society, you would just say she and her to refer to you. You identify as a woman, you look like a woman, just go with it. But is there something to worry about that in that premise, by granting the premise that one can change biological sex from male to female, from him to her, that we're giving the left a premise from which many of their arguments will flow, even if it's not a correct premise? Does that make sense? I didn't say that articulately.
No, it makes absolute sense. I guess in a sense, but at the same time, it's still about what makes sense. I mean, I don't even think it's giving the left that. I think they already have that.
They're going to take it anyway,
yeah, I think
right?
people argue against it when the reality is, like, I don't think since I was a teenager I've ever been called he. Like, even, like, pre-transition when I was starting to grow my hair out, no hormones, no surgery, I still never got called he. So, you know what I mean? So, it's just about common sense. Obviously, when it comes to some people, there's this one trans activist, I believe her name is Danielle Moscato. I think it's Danielle Moscato, and she's made, like, no, I'm saying she because I'm polite, but she's made no attempt to do anything, like, literally male clothes, bald head, no makeup, no anything. No
just
legal,
in every way.
no legal gender, in every way, like, looks manlier than you, like.
Well, I'll take it. You know, unfortunately, there are a lot of guys who look manlier than me.
You'll take it.
That's all right.
And so when it comes to people like that, it's very frustrating because they'll make a huge deal about it. But most trans people, we have to remember, like, the internet is, like, not real life all the time. So a lot of these activists,
it's hard to keep
like,
that in mind.
Yeah, a lot of these activists, like, yeah, there's crazy nuts on the internet, but most trans people are just, it doesn't matter.
Of course, and also there aren't that many transgender people. You know, the statistic for a long time was, I think it was 0.2% of the population,
very small,
or even less. Now that some surveys say that number is 0.6% of the population, I think. Obviously, there are differing numbers because it's such a small population. And yet, it's all anyone's talking about. And I do think that the left has made us so reactionary on this. You know,
so reactionary.
They do this on everything. They've incredibly made cross-dressers not fun. I don't know how they did that. Cross-dressers have always been fun throughout all of history.
It makes Rocky Horror, like, not fun.
Yeah, it makes it this, like, somber thing. It makes the village in New York like this very serious social, you know, come on, man. They've done it on college campuses. They've made sex boring. I don't know how they did that.
Yeah, I've always said, like, I've always said, you know, transgenderism is and should exist outside of the realm of politics because it's not political, it's biological.
So, as you can see, literally, like I said, Blair White is majorly known for this. This is a major reason why, for me, I am actually banned from Blair White's channel. The reason why is because I have a long-ass history with this whole situation. I get tired of LGBT people being homophobic or transphobic to their own people. It is annoying to me. That's like my biggest pet peeve. I don't understand. I get some people are self-hating, but that's why I'm banned from that channel. Because if you eat your own, I'm going to fuck you up like none other. Like, that's how it is. I've been this way since the beginning. It's like, you do that to your own people, then I'm going to make you feel like you should feel, basically. But anyway, this major thing what she does is, or he does, or they do, or whatever we want to call that. This person does, what this person normally does is specifically tries to say people who are basically not being trans enough, basically, are basically people who don't deserve to get the pronouns that they want. This one, I am one who will call anyone any pronoun that they want. That's how I am. But this is not how actually people who are actually against transgender people will act. Not like Michael Knowles. Michael Knowles acted completely weak on this. Reason why is because, well, I don't think it's really about transgender people. I think it's about what makes him uncomfortable. So basically, people who make him uncomfortable are like, I guess, feminine men. And feminine men make sense because he can see more of Jeffree Star in himself. That's why he has more issues with Jeffree Star saying the same thing Blair White said, basically. And, people who actually do have an issue with transgender people, they don't leave exceptions for people like this, okay? I'm just saying, this is the truth. And it's not just people who have an issue with them. I personally think that people who actually are in their senses understand that Blair White is a he. Blair White is a man. Blair White is a guy, okay? I can call Blair White a she, but that doesn't change that I'm still sexually attracted to Blair White, and I'm not attracted to females. So, you understand that for me, I definitely perceive Blair as someone who is, their sex is a male. I personally don't mind calling anyone a he, she, it, they, zebra. Okay, I don't care. I don't give a fuck. That's just me. But other people, I'm just saying, I think most people are aware that this is a he or a she. Now, I do think that some men are not really good at telling this sometimes, and I find it really weird. I think those are more so the types that have sexuality problems. They may be bisexual, so they associate femininity with what they're attracted to. And then they associate femininity with being basically a woman. Because what they're attracted to is femininity. They aren't specifically attracted to women, they're attracted to femininity. Femininity isn't actually woman. Woman is actually biologically woman. You have to be born a woman. XX chromosomes. You have to be born with a vagina. I would say you have to be born with the traits of a female too. Like, other than a vagina. Like, men have some reactions to females that are not actually specific to controllable reactions to females, that have to do with basically a woman's like ovulation, and things of that nature. So it has to do with certain hormones and so forth. So to me, like, I just kind of feel like in these situations, like, I think that's why some people, are attracted to people differently, and they associate those things with femininity and being a woman, basically. But it doesn't. Now, my whole point in this whole thing is that I kind of feel like in this situation that it's clear you agree, but your problem is that you have an issue with one type of person more than another. And I find this often with certain types of people, where they have an issue with people doing things that they don't agree with, okay? So, like, in the case of Jeffree Star, Michael Knowles doesn't like the way Jeffree Star dresses, the types of colors he wears, the type of makeup he wears, the fact that he wears wigs sometimes. He doesn't like the behavior, okay? He doesn't like how he acts, but not per se, specifically because it goes against the idea in his mind that woman does this, man does this, man is attracted to this, woman is attracted to that. And that bothers him. Well, to be honest, Blair White fits more into his idea of what a woman is supposed to do and what a man is supposed to do. So that's why he has less fire, less anger towards Blair White, but has more anger towards Jeffree Star. When they had the same message, they both didn't like non-binary pronouns. So in this video, basically, I just want to basically say that, it's hypocrisy to me, and obviously it's like, be consistent. Like, when you guys talk about the whole thing with people, specifically, not supposedly misgendering Blair White or whatever, it's interesting to me because it's like Blair White would still be called a he to people who actually feel that way and are willing to express it, okay? Like, for example, my mother, for example, when she is talking to someone else about a transgender person, she's still going to call them a man. She's done it in real time, real life. So it's not like it's like a thought or a theory. She's actually done this. She's had cashiers who were transgender. She's talked to managers about them in the past, not about them being transgender, about maybe something else they did in their work as a cashier or so forth. Whenever she's had to talk to a manager about a cashier that was transgender, she always calls them by the sex they were born. And guess what? The manager understands exactly what she's talking about. So it's not like it's a confusion situation. It doesn't confuse anything to misgender, transgender people because everyone's thinking it anyway. Now, do I do that? No. I don't personally do that. I use the right pronouns because I don't feel like really caring about that. It's not that big of a deal to me. That just isn't. To me, what's more of a deal is my sexuality, which, like I said, the leftist side doesn't really appreciate homosexuality or heterosexuality, and they tell you who to be attracted to and all that stuff because they have no respect for you. But at the same time, I think that it's honestly very right for people to have the right to be able to call people by the pronoun they choose to call them by. So my mother, in my opinion, has every right to use the pronouns he, him, and his to a trans woman. And she's always done that. It doesn't matter how much they pass to some people, she's always going to call them a he, him, his. Whenever she's talking to anybody, she's going to talk about them as he, him, his. At the most, if she's confused or not sure, she might call them a they or it, basically, or use their name just to be sure. She's never going to call them a she. She would never call Blair White a she. I would never call Blair White a she if I was going off of what sex I think Blair White is. No, I think Blair White is a is a male by basically the phenotype that Blair has. Okay, I don't know why anyone would see Blair as a female. Have you looked at Blair from the back? Blair's shoulders are very wide compared to Blair's hips. Blair, to me, looks male. But like I said, me being nice, I will call someone a she, but I don't think I should be demanded to call anyone a he or a she if I don't choose to. I think it's a freedom of expression and freedom of speech for me to call anyone by any pronoun I choose to. And my mom has every right to call her he because she wants to. So that's how I feel about this. I'm going to be done with the video. But yeah, to me, I feel like Michael Knowles has a lot of hypocrisy. One, he's not even strong in how he feels on this. I saw a video on Ben Shapiro, had the same kind of weak mentality towards this. It's like, why are you so fucking weak about something that you apparently believe? If you fucking believe it, then say it. But you don't, because it's all an act. It's not the truth. So that's all I have to say in this video. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, everyone. Comment down below and have a great day. Bye, guys.